Hey, it's Marcelle Allen, author of Financial Joy and owner of Dreamosity. And I've got some new tech. And so today I'm going to do kind of a data art demo, a little bit of a share and tell, and then I'm just going to futz around with these cool technologies because, so this is my hand. That's kind of funny because there's my giraffe. He's my mouse pad. And then, so recently, and I'm going to see if I can get this a little bit more. Let's see, let's swap them. Okay, so that looks cool. You can see my chair spinning. That's my that's my armrest. Anyways, I'm just gonna practice seeing this is one of my bookmarks. I want to see like what's in the screen, what's not. It's my little name tag here from the chamber. Um, but in the last, I don't know, 10 days, I've done a handful of data art demos with a variety of business owners who have different skills, different strengths, different concerns, different insecurities, different dreams, different ideas. And one of the things I love about meeting people who have unique dreams is they might need a different level of support or a different level of understanding. And so recently, um, I've experimented with like this person. So just real quick, each kind of pink dot or orange dot is a conversation. So a lot of people have a pattern of one or two conversations a day, maybe three or four. And in businesses, sometimes we need to have maybe 10 or 20 conversations in a day, which this pattern is very different than this pattern. Um, versus a sales appointment. And I define a sales appointment as anytime somebody says, hey, for $500, I can do this for you, or for 10 grand, I can do this for you, or hey, for $25, so whatever the number is, they actually ask and get to that point in the conversation where they're making an offer, number dropping. And then a bid or an estimate is just kind of pretty bluish teal. That's when they actually send the proposal, they send the estimate, they send out, they do the work. And so for those of us who have a custom proposal, this might take a couple days. There was a time in my career where it would take me 10 days to get that email out. Now I've gotten it a little bit shorter. And then you're paid invoice, and that can often come later in the game. And so each of these conversations had a whole different set of patterns and different people, different names, different, histories, and different colors. So I've been having people sit down and, I say, pick your colors. Some people, we stop doing the data art demo and then we just keep talking. Some people, we actually count up. Maybe this one started on the 13th of the month. So this is looking at a 30 or 31 day cycle. But talking about if somebody new is going to be selling something, they might have to have all this activity, a little bit of rejection to get to a net profit of $1,700, right? So a lot of times people under connect or under engage, or maybe they don't even get to the pitch. And so if people don't nail this pattern for themselves, they essentially do other side projects, which can be okay, or they have to get a job. And so when I do this with people, it's really special because I hear about their insecurities and their dreams. And so I'm looking for more people who want to do this and or to have conversations about it. Now this is called the Cash Creator. It was one of the tools that I mentioned in Financial Joy as a tool to look at our patterns of creation, our patterns of asking. I know, excuse me, for me personally, I under ask. It's just a pattern. Over the years, I've learned I've got to be more intentional about my time and the appointments and, get to yes faster. But sometimes it's like you're just not ready or the thing isn't done or it's still an idea phase, and that's okay. And so I feel a very encouraging, supportive, vibe here at Dreamosity where I can help people lean in to better understand what's possible and what's not. Now, this data here is very specific to kind of sales and financial management, because there's other things we can look at around leadership or marketing or customer service or product development, that this is really just looking at patterns, sales activities, and that financial management piece. So at the end of this month, or at the end of this cycle, there's a net profit. And I actually have a fun little key. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I should have that handy for next time, but it's basically a key looking at, so like if you have $1,000 net profit, it would be a blueberry. $10,000 might be a watermelon. I really get excited about helping people get apples and bananas and oranges, which is 5, 6, and 7,000, because you can do a lot with a $7,000 net profit. Now, sure, you can get to 20 grand. That's a pumpkin, but that basic pattern of getting people to yes is really important in business, and I find a lot of people don't talk about it. Bookkeepers are fantastic, but they're in a sense like the bean counter. They're going to count the beans, but they're not going to tell you, "Hey, you kind of this isn't working. You're not getting there." So actually, let me see if I can pull up how fast can I do this. So, can I add a third screen? Yeah, look at this. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so this is my issue account. I've been blogging and doing newsletters since January 2024. And this one here, Eric Lapham, he's my sales coach. And so I wanted to show you this. Let's see, how does it show up in this screen? Okay, you can see it. Perfect. A couple pages in, he was the one that taught me about having a sales track to run on. And that's where this idea of the circle came from. But these are essentially, I know it's so silly, but these are the results in like layman's terms and breaking it down to the fun of it. I was actually just telling our finance guy at the chamber board, like, if we had the net profit every month, a 30-day window, we could see, hey, are we getting raspberry results with a $3,000 net profit, or are we having cucumbers with 14,000? Like, so for the people at the table who aren't very mathy, as my friend Melissa calls it, or they're just not good with numbers, we all understand fruit, right? And at the end of the year, we're all going to have a fruit basket of results. Some months were, apples or oranges. Some months may have been peppers or corn. It doesn't really matter. I just want people to engage, to play, to get excited about it. So if you're out there wondering, well, how do I get to a pumpkin or a squash or some corn, or heck, you'd be happy with, a strawberry every month. I know some people that would be life changing for them to have an additional $4,000 coming into their business, or 4,000 to begin with as a side hustle. That could be just huge. So know that there are a lot of resources that I have here at Dreamosity, and the creativity and the fun, and the more people get to play and doodle and create something that is like, oh, it's no longer the economy's fault, or Facebook's fault, or somebody else's fault. People can start taking responsibility for the results here. And I know not every result is going to have beautiful solutions or happy results, but there are ways any negative conversation or any kind of awkward scenario can be turned into something great. And that's where, when I look at all the moving pieces here at Dreamosity, all the different types of content that can be created, maybe we just need to improve our presentation from the get-go to get people to yes. So let's get creative, reach out, set up a one-to-one, or book a free data art demo. I would love to show you through it, because looking at somebody else's data, it's not that exciting. But when you start to think about with your own, or even if we use mock data, there's something that kind of clicks for people. And I want that for you. If you've got big dreams and you're working towards something important right now, this could really be a game changer for you. So with that, thank you for listening, and visit dreamosity.com to get started.